Hey everyone, welcome to Shifty's Club. Today I'm going to talk about exactly what I promised before. If for those of you who may not know, I had told everyone I was going to start this segment for the trading card game and the video game on building rogue decks and parties and turning them into tier 1 decks parties. This will probably take I'll probably use different episodes to take this, but I'll definitely list this as basically different episodes. So if you see episode 13 as a trading card game and then a 15 as the other, then you know it's just that one for the trading card game, because I'll specifically list building rogue -TCG or building rogue -VGC, and I put part 1 or part, because the higher up the video is, such as like the later it's made, the higher up the video will be, such as like episode 20, episode 26, and so forth. So just note that when you're watching these videos. This one, I'm just taking the time to introduce what I'll be doing. Not really going to be talking about the trading card game or video game, and I'm not going to be too specific, but I'll talk about some of my ideas and how I used them in the past to do so well at tournaments. We're going to start with the trading card game. First off, and I'm going to tell you about some of my ideas that have turned me into what it is, the top cut overall. 2008 Worlds, okay? No one expected to see Typhlosion from Dragon Frontiers there. Not a one. Now, why did I use it though? Well, I knew Gardevoir and Gallade would both do, well, excuse me, let me give it the correct pronunciation. Gardevoir, there we go. And Gallade was a really good deck back then, and with a Tech Jirachi, which I soon figured out was actually helpful to them. But there was only one thing that you had to stick to up front, and then his body activated, so it really wasn't that big of a deal, but to some people it was. So I used that deck idea against them, knowing that they both have psychic weakness. They try to explore the possibility of running both psychic and fighting, same evolution line, and that's where I pretty much decided that this is going to be the best deck, so I'm going to try to nail Ralts as my target and then go for psychic weakness. But I also had an idea that Empoleon, well, it wasn't Empoleon, Almastar, then it became Bronzong, so that was a pretty popular deck, and so was like Leafeon, Magmortar, crap like that. Then you also had the Glaceon, Leafeon, and I think it was Weavile. I'm not sure. That was a pretty good deck too. That kind of ran around World in 80 Days. It ran around and went out of existence. But so I took two deck ideas that I knew that were going to be seen at Worlds, and basically turn them decks against my opponent. And then during the competition, I knew, or before the competition, I knew that when I heard the Empoleon was using Bronzong, now everyone's using Bronzong, I thought, well, that takes care of that, but Typhlosion's still going to get its butt kicked pretty hard. And Glaceon was still pretty popular, so I had to find a way to emphasize the lightning weakness and the metal weakness. And the way to do that was to put Charizard in there. But the only reason why I didn't choose like Pidgeot or some other lightning metal dual type was because Charizard could, when you play it down, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and attach energy, and then discard the other card. So it was pretty cool. And even doing 120 and discarding the metal energy, that one double rainbow or the one scramble could end up giving you pretty much the game if you know what you're doing at the right moment. The reason I chose Snorlax for the deck is so I could stall up front with Cessation Crystal and Crystal Beach. And basically, the only reason I'd play Cessation Crystal was if my opponent was literally just trying to set up, and I most certainly would not allow it. They could pull up Claydol they wanted to, you know, that sort of deal. But the Typhlosion from Dragon Frontiers has a thing to it where you could move a damage counter from one of yours to one of theirs, if I'm not badly wrong. But it was pretty cool because its attack did 60 damage, and if you multiply that by 2, would be 120, knocking out Gardevoir. If it was a level X or a Gallade, you'd need that extra damage. And yes, I did use. People call me an idiot for this, but I did use Lake Boundary and Crystal Beach in the same deck. Yeah, I know, crazy. But I used Crystal Beach at the early game and then used Lake Boundary for late game when I absolutely needed it. And I think only like 3 other people in that entire division used it in their deck. So it was actually a pretty good card that was definitely underlooked, or overlooked, underrated to some people. But so I used that. I did not have 4 Claydol back then. It was just a 2/2. Xatu also had like a 1/1. So, and that was whenever I needed to get the sleep condition and move it from Snorlax over to the defending Pokemon. You know, it'd just be that they're asleep, and now I can use my Super Scoop Up, boing, try to flip, didn't get it, find another way. I just keep finding ways to get Snorlax out of that position, back up to my hand, you know, push the Typhlosion back up, and basically I just pretty much use weakness to dominate the entire game. Now, there were a few roadblocks, like I did see Tyranitar EX once, and that was probably the toughest game I'd played up to the point to where I was playing another Gardevoir Gallade that had Cresselia level X in it. You know, crazy. So I got a little tricky and I made a mistake and it cost me the game. So thanks to that, and same thing for the whole tournament. It just blew. It just blew away. That was probably the best deck I'd ever come up with. Now 2007 wasn't really a rogue deck, I guess you'd call it. It was Crawdon EX and Metagross EX, and it was basically those sets that just came out, or Diamond and Pearl just came out when they're around World's time. So I took Crawdon EX's Poke Power and matched it with Metagross's Poke Power. That way I could choose and pick my opponent's bench Pokemon, put them back to their hand, and then when they had 3 benched Pokemon, I could use Metagross for both of us to shuffle our hands back in the deck and draw 4. Now, usually I'd pick and choose ones that weren't the same as the active, so Metagross could get the attack as well as Crawdon just kitten for 20 times the number of energy attached to it. But that was a pretty good deck to me back then, and I think I was the only person using it. Let's see. I'm going to skip a ways. 2010, skip 2009. 2010 was usually the Porygon Z with 4 Claydol, and then I take the 1/1 Dialga G and Azelf, you know. that story is basically just pruned out shut. The next year around, I had decided to use Garchomp level X, and it was just this past March, this first states. It was a Garchomp level X with basically Machamp, Rattata, Metagross, just everything to kill my opponent in pieces. And everyone was just giving me the face at my deck saying, how the heck does this deck, you know, that kind of crap. I thought it was just perfectly amazing because no one was really expecting it. As soon as they seen Gibble hit the field, I had a rare candy Garchomp. Turn 1, boom boom, I used a junk arm to discard Machamp and a fighting energy into my discard pile to get back the rare candy, just so I could get him in the discard pile. Next turn, I put Garchomp level X onto it. Most of the time I never activated the Poke Power, and the reason why is because if I get all those damage counters off, then I'm giving my opponent a chance to where they want to scoop it up, when sometimes I don't want them to scoop it up because I want them to keep that Pokemon down, let them know it's safe from harm, and you know, just pull up any kind of Pokemon with Metagross from LA, and then let Machamp basically take a basic knockout. Or I even used Rage a few times, Tyranitar, attached 3 energy to it, doing 60, 80, 90, even 100 damage for 3 energy some points in the game. This is where I was using Expert Belt. I think that's the most damage I've done. An Expert Belt, a Darkness energy, and 2 other energy, if not badly wrong. I think no, it was 2 Darkness energy. Never mind. And it was another energy, and then I used the Expert Belt, did 100 damage for 3 energy. And that took care of Luxray Gel that I'd already put a damage counter on the last turn when I activated Garchomp level X's ability. I thought it was pretty cool because I had built the deck, and it ran off the only 2 Pokemon that actually evolved were Garchomp and a Bronzong from Stormfront, to get the energy out of the deck so I could discard along with the Pokemon. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Now to the video game. This was also 2009. It was pretty cool deck, or pretty cool party in my opinion. I'm sure everyone, I don't know if they knew of it then, but I'm pretty sure everyone now knows of a little cool combo that you can make. It's a 4-way combo. It's basically Ninjask, and it's to where you can use agility, and then you have the speed boost ability, and then next turn you baton pass to an Ursaring holding a flame orb, activate, and then Guts kicks in with the flame orb, and now since your attack's raised, now since your attack's raised and your burn, now use Facade. And what I did from here is I took a Steelix, and then I used Screech around the field. So basically, yeah. That's basically a huge combo that I'm pretty sure everyone probably remembers from back then. But coming in the next year, 2010, I was not ready for the video game championships. I'm pretty sure everyone knew it because if you don't remember the Southeast regionals, I was the one who was in the back of the line getting ready. I had just hatched my slack off that day of the tournament for the slacking that I was going to use for the tournament. And I even told everyone in line, I was standing there with my hands in my pockets telling them I'm not even ready for the tournament. And you know, and the only reason I did that is just to make people laugh. And I showed them myself. I showed them every Pokemon in my party, every one of my games, just to prove to them that I'm not ready, but I'm about to get ready. You know, it didn't take me too long, but I actually won, but I had a Scizor and a Ho-Oh that I put in the party but never really used. Actually, I didn't use them, period. All I used was a Slacking Gengar. Big mistake. And then I had a Kyogre and a Porygon Z backup. So, basically, what I did is use Gengar's speed to skill swap Slacking, and then I intentionally left its defense and special defense low so he could get one hit KO'd, you know, with the Tron ability. So, well, there goes Gengar at that point. And I'm pretty sure they wanted to try to get into Gengar before something happened, but now I had Slacking doing Earthquake Rock Slide every turn, you know. It's just one of those games. And then as soon as they knock out Gengar, now they got to put up with a Kyogre or a Porygon Z, depending on whether I need to use the Drizzle Thunder combo or Porygon Z's. Either one is like Psychic Attack, Signal Beam. Yeah, no, Signal Beam. Bug Tie's crazy. But I felt that it was needed, and I did end up using it a lot. That was my party. It was a shame I only got to like third round, and I got beat out by like a Wobbuffet. You know, the guy knew exactly what I was going to be doing every single move. So yeah, you can pretty much figure that out. And then the next year was basically I had went online and played. Through Wi-Fi, I've played against, you know, player after player. This was on my white version. I had raised everything. I'd got all of my Pokemon ready. I had a Terrakion and a Hydreigon, and this was the start of the game. And then my backup was to use Chandelure and Haxorus. Now this combo, the specific combo that I have, is kind of rogue because no one would expect me to pull out a Chandelure as soon as Hydreigon got knocked out, or a Haxorus as soon as Terrakion got knocked out. And a reason for it being is because whenever I'm pairing Terrakion with Chandelure, not only am I with a flame body, not only am I going to hide the fire type attacks from it, but I'm also going to use ghost type moves to overcome like psychic type Pokemon, you know, just give it a type advantage. And no one really understood why I use like Energy Ball against the water types that are trying to take Terrakion down or trying their hardest, you know, just to knock the crap out of them. So whenever Dragon got knocked out, I brought in Haxorus to take its space because I knew that if I paired Haxorus with it was a Shadow Claw, and I knew I could get around a few other psychic types to make up for the lack of Hydreigon's not having a dark type attack. So that was basically my strategy. I did put in a Superior and a Cofagrigus just to make it look like 6 Pokemon, but you know, that's just me. I just play with 4 Pokemon. Now this year I'm gonna plan to do 6. I've got 4 different strategies, and no, I'm not gonna list what they are. I got 4 strategies into 6 Pokemon that I can use in any combination, so I pretty much got it thought up this year. Everything's done and ready. I'm just testing online right now. I'm 937 to 1 with my party, so I feel pretty confident going into this upcoming regionals. By the way, I think it's like November, so if you guys catch me at the regionals, yeah, kind of stay with me. I don't really want to give away autographs and crap, but if you want any of my Pokemon that I got extras of, like I got a few Pokemon extras, like my Whimsicots that aren't at perfect max speed, you know. Of course, no one really wants them, but like even if they're 1 or 2 points off, I put it in the PC box and start fresh because I'm not gonna have nothing less than the best. So, but no, I'm not using Whimsicott. That was then, not now. But I think I might as well go ahead and tell you what my Pokemon's nicknames were, because you know, I'm not gonna let myself down if I don't tell. During the just this past regionals for the video game, I had a Terrakion named Red Bull, a Hydreigon named Three Stooges, you know, because it's got 3 heads. a chandelier for it was named the Grudge because it was a chandelier, but it was alive, so it was like the Grudge, you know. If you've seen the movie, if you haven't, you need to see it. It's it's weird, but it's not bad. Then Haxorus, I just named it the Flintstone because I couldn't or Flintstone because I couldn't really come up with anything else for it. Since it was like one of them dinosaurs. So, and dinosaurs are like really old, so I named it Flintstone, but because they got a bunch of dragons and stuff in their show, so, or not dragons, dinosaurs. But that was basically all my combinations I've ever used. Now, I did enter a small tournament with a Swanatoon deck, but I'm not going to go too much in detail about that. If you remember, a few episodes ago, well, more like a lot, I said I'd cut out the putting a bunch of pictures of cards and Pokemon up on the screen and then talking to a microphone while you're looking at pictures, because I think it's better if I talk to you straight out instead of just describing, because I really think you get more out of it that way. And I think the other 15 people, yeah, no, only 15 people who complained about it, I think they're like in some kind of gang, because they're always the same group of 15, 13, 14 people who keep complaining about everything, you know, just want change to everything. But hey, if that's what you guys want, then that's what you guys would probably get, because, you know, I don't really care to change it at all as long as I'm getting viewers, as long as I'm helping people. Thanks to Eli Wood, I got 262. I got the last episode about the Eevee raid, and if he wouldn't have asked what deck I was running for Battle Roads, I would have never thought to make that episode, because I honestly was going to run the deck, but I don't have the cards for it, so I can't really run it, and it was disappointment. Then I had a Mewtrode episode that it was a great deck, but thanks to a fan for pointing out that that I had only fighting energy in the deck, and Mew Prime was in the list, but I had forgot to put Relicanth in the list so I could see off so I wouldn't have to see off, and I could just bring up Mew Prime after I'd got rid of a Sudowoodo. And that was where I screwed up, because I used Relicanth's draw power just to basically power up turn 1, so I can go ahead and get Electrode out on the bench. I can preserve Sudowoodo so it doesn't get hurt, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of my fault. Thank you, the fan who pointed it out. I'm not going to mention any names, so. But I thought I'd go ahead and just mention everything about those. Now, the most surprising one to people was probably my Worlds deck, and it was one that no one understood, and it was basically like Ross Cawthon's deck, but I didn't go near as far as he did in the Worlds, so no one really paid attention. But yeah, maybe it'll be even better when I win Worlds this year. Yeah, I know, laugh. But I thought I'd go ahead and tell you guys about this segment I'm doing. I know you just hate hearing me yap. You'd rather hear the info. So, I don't know how many parts there'll be, but I'm writing scripts right now, trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to say. I'm not reading straight off of paper, but I'm basically bulleting points and putting notes, and I'll basically look at a paper if I need to recite a note or something, you know. It's just that way. Well, I figured what I'd be doing is telling you basically different things, such as how to get familiar with rogue decks and parties, and then identifying concepts of different decks, deploying strategies, and fighting off your weak points, and number 1, tech to perfect. And it's basically those are the points that I used for building rogue decks, and it always seems to work for me. Same thing for parties. It's just it's always works for me. But I mean, every time I've ever used a metagame deck, I always suck. Well, except for the time I used that Typhlosion Battle Roads just this couple, like 2 weeks ago. Other than that, I always sucked with the metagame deck. But anyway, basically that's the thing. But I can go ahead and give you details about the first step about making rogue decks and parties. And this is not just for rogue players. This is for everyone. If you're playing the TCG or VG, I pretty much can tell you that if you do not know what every single card in the entire format does, or the limitations of every Pokemon, plus all the info that goes with the Pokemon in the VG, if you know all them, you're in good hands. If you don't, I advise you to study up, because that's basically what your world champions do, and basically those that consistently win tournaments. I guarantee you that you will not. I bet you that. And I'm not gonna say he probably does, but I'm willing to bet that Ray Rizzo, two-time video game world champion, the first one we've ever had, two-time. He is probably the only person that will ever win two straight in either trading card game or video game, and I'm willing to bet also that he knows what almost every Pokemon that could possibly be useful in the video game does. I bet he knows what every one of them does, how it works, because I mean, to get that kind of status, you got to know what everything does, because there's going to be a lot of people throw weird stuff at you, and you just got to know how to defend it off. So I'm willing to bet that he knows a lot about everything that's useful. And same thing for like the trading card games. Say you have like Hypno, like you see a Drowsy. Say you see a Drowsy. What do you expect? You expect them to flip a coin next turn and try to put you to sleep. Like say you're looking at a Zubat. Next turn you're looking for either a 30 damage snipe or the next turn or 2 turns later, or you're looking at poison for 4 damage counters plus free retreat costs, fighting resistance, lightning weakness, 130 HP, psychic, stage 2, Crobat Prong. Like that kind of stuff. Get to know every card, every detail about every card, so you know how to strategize against those cards or decks. Same thing with the parties. If someone throws Executor at you, then you know, hey, this is the only useful Pokemon with the most weaknesses of any other Pokemon. Executor, Grass, Psychic, having 7 weaknesses. Now that is just absolutely terrible. But that's why no one really uses him. But you still need to know what he does, because I mean, imagine coming out with Cherrim the turn before, Sunny Day, bring up Executor, Solar Beam with a Quick Claw. How are you going to defend if you're using, say, a Wailord? That's pretty much a one-hit knockout right there. And if you're lucky, you might survive with a few HP. So just those kind of things are the ones to look out for. You just need to know how to read opponent strategies, such as if you see a Shuckle, get ready for a Toxic Protect Rest combo, because that's about all they're going to do to you. Same thing with, like say you're up against a Lapras, get ready for the Parasong after another Pokemon mean looks you, or get ready for Confuse Ray, and then followed up by either Water type move or just Water Pulse altogether, because those are strategies that go along with the Pokemon, and those are the strategies that you should look out for. Just looking at a Pokemon, you should realize what it's about to do, what it's going to do to you, and that's basically where studying up gets to an effect. Even studying base stats altogether is probably the most important thing, because you need to know what a Pokemon's average HP is, what its average attack, defense, special attack, special defense, speed is, because there are plenty of people that I've seen one in particular, and the guy was pretty much an idiot, okay? I'm not going to beat around the bush. And oh my god, I really can't believe he did this either. He used a Raichu and used Thunder on a Tentacruel when he had Volt Tackle. Now, in reality, you would never use Thunderbolt on Tentacruel because it's high special defense. But you'd rather use Volt Tackle because of its low defense plus weakness, and there you go. So basically the next few episodes will just be basically about how to perform some of these actions with the rogue decks, but basically that's all I've got for you guys. Just study every card that's in format, every useful Pokemon, such as every fully evolved Pokemon that we've got. That includes Porygon 2 or Porygon Z. And I guess I'll see you guys next time at Shifty's Club.